Update. I, 22 female, believe my boyfriend, 28 male, might be tampering with my toothbrush. Original post. This is probably the weirdest and most disgusting thing I've ever typed, but I think I'm slowly realizing that my boyfriend has been doing something really messed up. We've been together for about a year and a half. He's always been a little passive-aggressive when he's upset. He won't talk things through. He just gets quiet or moody and gives me the silent treatment, or accuses me of trying to continue arguments when I'm just trying to hash things out until the conversation ends. He loves to reset and act like an issue or disagreement never happened. Anyway, a few months ago, I started noticing my toothbrush was being moved. It's electronic and would be off the charger on its side, or the whole thing scooted back or forward. I thought it was just getting knocked around because our countertop is small. Eventually, I started noticing that it would be wet in the middle of the day, or at times when I hadn't recently brushed my teeth. One time, I noticed something on it like it had been used to clean grout. That's when I started keeping a small spare toothbrush hidden in my makeup bag, which was never moved or messed with. Here's the part that really makes me feel sick. I finally confronted him after struggling to come to terms with the reality that someone might be this disgusting. I said something straightforward along the lines of, "Are you doing something to my toothbrush when you're mad at me?" And he just laughed and said, "You're crazy," and then refused to talk about it further. I don't even know how to process that. Like what? I haven't seen him do it, so I don't have proof. But I know something's up. I feel crazy, but my gut is screaming at me that this is real and he is getting back at me by putting my toothbrush in the toilet or doing something else gross. I haven't told anyone because it's honestly humiliating and gross, but I feel trapped between thinking I'm paranoid and realizing I might be with someone who would literally put my toothbrush in the toilet to get back at me. What do I even do? Now for the top advice before reading the update. We've been together for about a year and a half. He's always been a little passive-aggressive when he's upset. He won't talk things through. He just gets quiet or moody and gives me the silent treatment, or accuses me of trying to continue arguments when I'm trying to hash things out until the conversation ends. He loves to reset and act like an issue or disagreement never happened. Would already be breakup worthy to me in a 1.5-year-old relationship. The fact that there's even a shadow of a doubt in your mind that he's capable of doing something this awful and disgusting would make me run for the hills. There are better guys out there, I promise. And being alone is a million times better than being with someone who'd tamper with your stuff. You're right. I could definitely imagine it, because he's petty and has done similar things, like purposely leaving my food out to spoil and then returning it to the fridge because he was angry that I didn't feel like cooking and got delivery instead. He seems to get off on silently one-upping me, but all I want to do is talk things through because I have known him a very long time and care about him. Just break up. The fact that he's moody and gives you the silent treatment is enough of a reason. It's immature and exhausting behavior. But if you have this gut feeling about your toothbrush, just trust it and leave. You don't need proof. You don't need a good enough reason. Also, his response is bogus. If my husband asked me if I had tampered with my toothbrush, I'd reassure him, not call him crazy. Then I'd give him a new toothbrush from my stash if he doubted his. His response of calling you crazy is just unkind and doesn't explain your legit concern. Does he gaslight you in other ways? There are so many men out there that you won't have to worry about this with. Just dump him. I think I already knew I was going to, but needed reassurance to get the courage, and I've been too embarrassed to talk about it in real life. He's asleep next to me right now, and I haven't been able to sleep all night thinking about this dumb thing, so I made a throwaway. Lol. I don't know if he gaslights me, but he definitely believes there is a give and take to everything. And if I upset him, then in turn he has full rights to retaliate towards me, whether he mentions the issue to me or not. He's demeaning and discourages me from attending classes. I don't know what I was holding on to. Our old friendship and feelings, I guess. I could tell he thought me realizing was genuinely funny. Ugh. He's abusive. You're in an abusive relationship. Get the heck out of there. I'm leaving. Plans are coming together, kind of. Now for the update. When I wrote that first post, I felt sick, confused, and honestly ashamed. I didn't think anyone would even read it, let alone respond. But I did get responses, a lot of them. And something about that, being seen in a situation I've been quietly drowning in, shifted something in me. I didn't give him another chance because I still couldn't believe what was happening. I gave him one because part of me still wanted him to redeem himself. I wanted him to see how scared I was, how small he'd made me feel, and do something decent for once. After that first night I posted here, I thought maybe if I brought it up again, calmly, and gave him a real opening to be honest, he might finally do the right thing. Instead, he doubled down. This time he implied it might be his daughter, an 8-year-old girl. He shrugged and said, "Kids do weird stuff like that. Maybe she's been playing a trick on you." And when I tried to bring up how unsafe and confused I've felt for months, how he used to leave my food out on purpose when he was mad, how he pushed me to drop both work and school, how isolated and anxious I've become, he brushed it all off. Said they were just normal relationship disagreements that could have been worked through if I communicated better. It was so dismissive, it actually stunned me. I realized in that moment that nothing I said would ever matter to him, and never had. So I dropped it. I smiled. I pretended to believe him. I told him it was probably all just in my head. I didn't expect anyone to respond when I reached out. I've been so cut off from everything. But one of them did. Pretty much immediately, like she was waiting to hear from me again. She told me I could crash on her couch for a few weeks while I find a job back in my home state. Probably bartending or waitressing again. I don't care. I just needed out. She waited for me at a restaurant nearby. All I had to do was text her the second he left to drop his daughter off with her mom. The moment that door closed behind him, I grabbed everything I could carry, just a couple bags, and left all the big stuff behind without even looking back. It took 6 hours to get back home, but I'm here now. I'm safe. My body already feels different. Of course, I've already gotten texts, his daughter's mom and her family, asking where I've gone and begging me to come back. Or saying the kid will miss me, that I was so good with her, and they need help. And yeah, I will miss her too. I really will. She didn't ask for any of this. I'm not doing this for anyone else anymore. I'm doing this for me. For the version of me who used to have friends, who used to go out and had a whole future planned. Thanks to everyone who commented and reminded me that being scared in your own home isn't normal. Y'all helped me find the nerve to leave. This will probably be my only update on Reddit, but if anything else exciting happens, maybe I'll come back to this throwaway account and let y'all know. Proud of you. Glad you got away safely. Don't respond to any of them and focus on healing. Congratulations! I did the same thing before leaving my ex, tried to give the chance to show up. I hope it helps you feel closure. I ended up giving another chance remotely, in the maybe we can be friends way, and of course it did not work. They show who they are. I hope you can heal, find yourself again, feel freedom and celebrate life. It helped me cement that it was over, even though I already knew. And they need help. This is a huge freaking thing here. His daughter's mom, who I assume is his ex, and her family are calling you. They couldn't even keep it to the manipulation of trying to make you out to be the bad guy for hurting her feelings. They just had to bring up that they needed your help. Have any of them asked how you are when you literally had to flee your ex? Her family has been messaging me like crazy trying to get me to come back. I misspoke, the daughter's mother never reached out to me herself. We've only spoken on a few occasions during drop-offs, where she was very nice but quiet. And that girl who helped you? That's amazing. She deserves a hug from every damn person on Reddit. She is amazing. I couldn't believe how quickly she was down to come so far to get me. Next story. Am I overreacting to a secret my husband just casually let slip on a date? Original post. My husband, 28 male, and I, 27 female, have been married for 6 years, together for 12. The thing I have always loved most about this man is that he adores me and is always 100% honest with me. Well, we just got home from a date. I'm still sitting in the car wondering if I'm crazy. But there was a time when we were about 23 years old where I really wanted a baby. We tried so hard for about a year, but it never happened. Honestly, I can admit now that the idea was out there, And I'm genuinely glad we didn't conceive then because our lives are so great now, and at this point, I don't even think I want kids. Anyway, on our date, he mentioned that time period when we were trying, and he let slip that every day before we did it, he would jerk off so that there would be less of a risk that it would actually happen. I think he admitted this because I was just talking about how glad I was that we didn't have kids, so he felt comfortable admitting that. I was so taken aback and started crying mid-date. I know it sounds dramatic, but I feel like I just learned that he's never been 100% honest with me like I thought. Why not just talk to me then and say, hey, I don't think it's the right time, instead of manipulating me? We did it every single day during that time, and now I'm just questioning everything. He's acting like it's no big deal and that I'm just overreacting, but I feel extremely hurt right now. So, am I blowing this out of proportion? Now for the advice before reading the update. Perhaps it bothers you so much because love, marriage, and children are huge deals. Pretty big things to lie or be manipulative about, even though in this case it worked out. I would be asking myself and him if there is anything else he needs to tell me about. If not, I would try to move past this one, but he would need to acknowledge why I'm so upset instead of being so dismissive. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't appreciate it if the confession was the other way around, and you were doing something behind his back to increase the chances of conception without telling him. I would need him to get that before I could move on. Yes, this. It's not a white lie. Children are a big deal. It's good that you're happy with the way things turned out, but what if you didn't feel that way now? OP, at the time, you really wanted kids, and he actively took steps to prevent that from happening. It's great that you can say you're happy with how your life is now, but you don't know what it's like to live any other way because of him. What else has he been doing to control your life? Are you saying you're happy with how your life turned out because you're trying to reconcile with not having kids? I feel like he's making a joke at your expense by making this confession. I would be madder that he thinks that affected anything. As a person who has gone through fertility issues and spoken to doctors about how conception works, him jerking off before sex does affect her ability to conceive. Most men need 48 hours to reload sperm viable enough for pregnancy. Now for the update. Hey everyone, I wanted to let you know what transpired last night following this post. I got so many helpful comments and I appreciate them all. Some comments were very out there and dramatic, even for me, but I still appreciate the time it took to read my post and reply. I saw some common themes, so I wanted to clarify a few things. Firstly, I did reflect back on that time and realized that I did have baby fever. And while he never outright told me he didn't want a baby, I can see now that he wasn't as enthusiastic as I was. So that could be on me for being so focused on what I wanted. Secondly, I was never upset that he didn't want a baby, or even the way he went about it. The only thing that hurt my feelings was the withholding of information and not being direct with me. Following the initial hurt of the situation, we did sit down and talk it out. We have grown, and I explained my feelings to him. He apologized and understood why I felt hurt. We're going to be fine. I made it clear that in the future, he doesn't need to do something just to make me happy if his heart isn't in it, and we both agreed to be more direct with one another. We read some of the comments on this post together. Some made him open his eyes to how I was feeling, thank you. And others made us laugh out loud because they were a bit extreme. Also thank you because laughing together helped us. And yes, we now know that is not an effective form of birth control. Last story. I, 29 male, was warned not to marry my girlfriend, 28 female, by her best friend. What now? I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years, and I've been planning to propose in the next couple of months. Recently, we had a group of her friends over, and I decided to share my plans with one of her best friends. For context, her best friend is a gay man who's been in a committed relationship for 8 years. Their relationship seems stable, and while they're not married, they treat it as if they are. He's also very blunt. He tends to speak his mind even when it causes tension, and he's not great at sugarcoating things to avoid awkwardness. So, when I told him about my plan to propose, he looked a bit uncomfortable. He said, "Good luck," while glancing around like he wanted to leave. His reaction surprised me. So I asked if he had any tips or if there was something he wanted to get off his chest about me. He said he actually likes me and enjoys spending time with me, which made the situation more confusing. I asked him directly what was bothering him, thinking I could handle whatever he said. That's when he told me he had concerns, not about me but about my girlfriend. According to him, she has a pattern of being emotionally distant in relationships. He said she's dated people more for convenience than genuine affection, and that she only ever seemed truly excited about one guy in the past. Her excitement then was as simple as being eager to text him back or lighting up when he messaged her. He also pointed out that she still talks about her exes a lot, even though she doesn't keep in touch with them. I've noticed this too. She'll bring up old conversations with exes and talk about them in surprising detail. He also mentioned that she hasn't been single for more than a year since before high school. While he admitted that might be hypocritical, since he's been with his boyfriend since high school, he said he believes she sometimes confuses romantic relationships with emotional support systems. That hit home for me because during our first year together, I actually wondered if she was in love with him. I eventually dropped that thought after spending more time around him and realizing how committed he is to his boyfriend. And quite frankly, he is very gay. But the behaviors that raised my suspicions, her emotional dependence on him, only stopped after he established stronger boundaries. I remember a year into our relationship, my girlfriend got upset that he stopped coming over to comfort her after his boyfriend moved in full-time. They had an argument, and he apparently admitted that her lack of boundaries was part of the reason he pulled back. Sometimes she would even sleep over at his place, which always struck me as odd. Those were the kinds of things I thought I should be doing as her partner. What surprised me is that she's never been overly clingy with me. If anything, she's independent and sometimes distant. But with him, she had a strong emotional reliance. What started as me sharing exciting news turned into a conversation that left me feeling uncertain. I love my girlfriend, but her friend made some valid points that are now weighing on me. His comments echoed some things I had noticed but hadn't fully processed. Now I'm left wondering, why would he bring all this up? Was he trying to protect me, or was this crossing a line? Do I talk to my girlfriend about this? If I do, and she finds out what he said, what does that mean for their friendship, or for mine with her? Does she have a right to know her friend shared this with me? Personally, I'd maybe note this guy's advice, but you should make this decision really based on your experience and relationship. Like if his advice really hit home, then maybe bring up what you're worried or feeling to her. You have been dating for 3 years. If you don't fully agree with him, then maybe think on it some more if it's worth bringing up. I think it's somewhat normal to rely on friends in some emotional way. How is your relationship otherwise? Were there other issues that worried you before this? Yes, sometimes best friends have a hard time seeing that we've changed, or things have changed. His insight is valuable, but also everyone is grown up now. He should judge based on who she is today. What worries me the most about your post is the fact that the friend's observations about your girlfriend actually align with what you have seen and lived yourself. So he's not making it up or sabotaging your relationship for the fun of it. You have to determine if she's the person for you, if she loves you as much as you love her, if she's capable of giving you what you need in the long term. This, and also the fact that the best friend had to step back because her boundaries were crossing a line with his relationship. I'm just going to throw this out there. I think she has a thing for her gay best friend. I think he knows it too, and is trying to tell OP without actually telling him. My advice would be to hold off on the proposal and just reevaluate the whole relationship. Keep an eye out for more red flags from her part. It's better to find out now rather than after marriage. You might have just been given a huge gift, OP.